Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. This is Morning Matters. It is 6:40. The birds are fighting. The birds were so loud yesterday outside. Like I have a bird inside and then I have these birds outside my door here. And they were so loud yesterday. I yelled at them. I yelled at all the birds outside and they actually stopped. They were like, "Oh, yeah, maybe we're being a little noisy." It was pretty funny. I was like, "Really, guys? You guys are super loud." Um, oh, we got comments. Oh, good morning, Maya Geo. So, it is Friday, and I am I I've grown up, through my 20s and 30s and now my 40s. um, I people talking about working for the weekend and dreading Fridays and dreading Mondays and loving Fridays. I've always grown up different, opposite, because my almost 50, that is correct, almost 50 times around this beautiful, bright star. So I needed you guys this morning. I'm glad you're here. But yeah, it has been a challenging week to say the least. And I knew it was going to be, and I definitely need the weekend. But like I said, I've grown up where like I started my working career with Cutco and Vector, and Monday was always like the big day. Monday was like your payday, and Monday was the day you got your was Monday payday? No, I think Friday was payday. Yes. So yeah, you would turn your orders in on Monday. They'd be shipped overnight Tuesday. They get there on Wednesday. They process them on Thursday. You get paid Friday. Yeah. I remember now. Oh yeah, the new job is it's well. So I had to have this conversation with myself yesterday. I got to have it again today, and I'm going to have it throughout the weekend. And now that I've gone through a week of this, refocus myself. And it's funny because unfortunately my mom is going in for knee surgery on Monday, and and that I'm worried about. She's not worried about it at all, but she's getting reconstructive knee surgery. And then so I'm worried about her being by herself and alone and during the day, and what if she needs help and whatnot. But that's neither here nor there. That's not on my mind yet. But the concept of she is, great question, 79, 78. She'll be 79 this year. She had me when she was 30. So yeah, it's arthritis in both her knees. She's got her hip redone, and now she's getting her knee done. One knee done, and then she's going to get her other knee done. And but yeah, so like Fridays were, like I said, Fridays I grew up where Friday was payday, right? Everybody thinks Friday's payday, but Friday was always like a fun day for me. Like it was like, oh, you get paid, and it's going into the weekend, and it was never like a hard day. Monday was always like the hard day. Like I had meetings and I had all this stuff, but I got to see my team, and I got to calculate the orders and see what we're out for the week. So it was exciting. Mondays were like a fun day, and then with solar it was kind of like the same thing. But now I understand. It's like just get to Fridays and get to the weekend. But it's like the weekend, I'm thinking about the weekend, and I just got to refocus. I really have to. We're going to go over my goals today. Not excited about it. And then I think the fact that I do my goals every morning is what has kept my sanity and is keeping me going right now, because, it's so much stuff to learn. And I'm remembering, and it's like all they sell is like Chromebook parts to schools. So like, schools now, I guess everyone gets like a Chromebook or some kind of learning thing because of COVID, and the parts break. There's kids, and the parts break, or the charger gets lost, the battery dies, the screen gets cracked, the bezel, the And the thing is, the Chromebooks are so cheap that they're only like $200 or $150 for the thing, but the parts are worth $200 themselves or $300. So um, sometimes it's better just to buy a new Chromebook. But if you take all the parts, they cost more than the Chromebook itself. So so basically, schools come, these things break, and we want to sell them the parts or the projector, or we sell projector lamps, and it doesn't seem like a lot, but there's so many different parts and so many different versions and this and SKU numbers and blah blah blah. And then on top of that, like I'm used to like just sales, sitting down. I do solar sales, or Cutco sales. It's it's like an hour long presentation, building value, handling questions, handling objections, getting people understand, working out, tax credits, all that kind of jazz. This kind of sale it's like just call enough schools, eventually, just make enough calls and send enough emails that eventually you catch a school, you catch an IT person, or someone who's in charge of tech, who's like, yeah, oh yeah, we need to order parts, and instead of going to the regular vendor, maybe they call you. That's so it's really just everyday grind. Make calls and send emails, and then write up the order. So I haven't gotten to that part yet where I'm actually just calling schools left and right. I'm still learning, what happens if you do get someone on the phone, and how to do the order, and how to find the SKU part, and how to put all that together. So, it's me. I'm the sales manager. There's one other salesperson who's been there for a long time, and then there's the owner and his wife, and so it's 4 people, and it's a big building, and so the objective is I have to learn everything. No, I haven't made any sales yet. I'm not even trying to make sales yet. So I got to learn. I don't even know. Like if someone called me today and said, I want to buy, I got literally spent yesterday, and the training is I'm training myself. So it's like, I spent yesterday. I was like, I went to the sales guy who's there, and I'm like, hey, just send me the orders you had to take yesterday, and I'm just going to try to learn how to write up the quotes. All right. And so the owner told me, hey, look, it's going to take you at least 3 months to, get you up to speed, and or a month and a half, and then by the end of the year for me to be up to a quota. And really what it is you get in touch with some schools, they buy some stuff from you, and then when they need stuff, they call you back, and you get to a point, you call enough, you build up your pipeline, and eventually you get to a point like this guy who works already. He's been there for like 10 years. So he's not really looking to make more clients. He doesn't need to, because he has so many vendors that just schools that just kind of contact him when they need stuff, and he writes up orders. So so the point being is this whole 9 to 5, like by the time I'm ready to leave, my mental is shot. Like my mind is like, I just want to go home, and it's like I want to just get through the day, get to 5 o'clock, go home. And so my mind is like saying already, why am I doing this? Is this what I want to do? Is this what I see myself doing for the next 4 or 5 years? Blah, 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 blah. And what I have to remind myself, and why, again, I do Morning Mondays or Morning Matters, is I have goals, right? It's like, not like, this is just the work. I remember talking to a friend of mine, and she was like, I don't want to do real estate. I don't like real estate. And I'm like, yeah, but real estate is it's not about liking the real estate. It's like, it's about liking the money, and the investing in the real estate that allows you to make money down the line. You don't have to love real estate. Like, not everything is about what you love to do that. Now, it's great if you can find a position that you love doing and you make money doing it. That's awesome. But if you don't find that, like, I don't even know do I like doing solar? Yeah, but I don't like the industry. I don't like what it takes to make the solar sales. especially in where I just came from, where they didn't even teach me how to actually do it. Like, it's funny, I'm going in reverse. Like, the last job didn't tell me how to write up orders, and they were just like, just go sell. And I'm like, well, how do I write up the freaking order when I sell it? This job is taking a bunch of time for me to learn the orders, which I appreciate. I would like to know what I'm doing before I actually do it. So yeah, so it's one of the reasons why I'm doing these podcasts, because I do want to. This is what I really want to do. When I can make it to a point where I can make money doing this. So, which is what I'm going to spend this weekend working on, figuring more out, and how to make these better. Right now, I got the setup. I'm on 3 things, and yeah, we'll figure it out. But that's what I got to do this weekend, is reset myself, relook at my goals. Now that I actually know what this feels like to go through a day or go through a week, I can set my mind to making a better schedule. Because right now, it's not working. Because I get home, I get tired, I get done at 5:30. I would get home 6:00, and then it's like, well, do I go straight to the gym now? And I've twice I've been like, all right, let me put my clothes on, let me go to the gym, and I just fell asleep. And then I fall asleep. I wake up at like 11. That's what happened last night. I woke up at like 11:30, 12 o'clock. I was like, oh, I missed the football game. I didn't go to the gym. I didn't do anything I needed to do. It's too late to do anything else. And then I stayed up from like 12 o'clock to like 4. I watched a really good Star Talk with Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he was talking to a professor of philosophy. He was talking about philosophy and physics, and it was awesome. It was a great talk. I watched that for like an hour, and I got some ideas for Cosmic Matters on Sunday. But then I was up to like 4:30, and then, like, of course, right around 4:30, I start to get tired. I'm like, I gotta get the day started now. So now it's like I almost fell asleep at like 5, and my alarm clock went off at 5, and yeah, you can dislike. You're allowed to dislike who you like, who you'd want to. I think Neil deGrasse is great. I've gone and seen him talk. I've seen him 3 times live. Yeah, I went to see him at Foxwoods once. I went to see him in Westbury on Long Island, and then I saw him in New Jersey, in Trenton. No, Newark. I saw him in Newark. Yeah, he's not. But anyway, doesn't matter. So watched that talk last night, and and then I was like, all right, now I gotta start my day already. And then I did my squats and my push-ups and whatever, and then I'm like, oh man, I gotta jump on here. So the point I'm trying to get at is, the point I'm trying to get at is, my job is my vehicle to my goals, and that's where I am right now, and I have to remember that. And I also have to remember that, as someone who did solar sales for like 10 years, 12 years, 12, 13 years, it's I forgot what that learning curve was like when new people come in and they're like trying to figure out like how everything works and all that stuff. Like, I forgot what that was like, and that's just the learning curve I'm going through right now. So of course it's difficult, and I'm like, and in any endeavor, one of the things I used to teach my sales reps was, you go through the learning curve, and the learning curve is there's 4 steps to it. There's what's called unconscious consciousness. I think that's the last step. Oh no, I got it. I'm sorry. It took me a minute to remember. So there's unconscious competent is the first level of learning. Unconscious competent. Second level of learning is unconscious incompetent. Sorry. Then there's conscious incompetent, and then there's conscious competent, and then unconscious competent. And so those stages are first, like, so the first thing is you're unconscious incompetent, meaning you don't even know what you don't know. Like when you start a process at all, like you don't even know. It's not that it's like you're incompetent and you don't even know what you don't know. Like you're like, I don't even know what it's going to take to do this. It's like a kid tries to learn ride a bike, right? And they're like, all right, let's just go ride a bike. And they think they see the other kids riding the bikes, it looks fun, right? And they just jump on the bike and they fall off, right? And they're like, oh, this sucks. This hurts. I thought it looked so much easier while people are doing it, and you don't even understand what you need to do. Oh, I got to pedal. I got to move faster. I got to, like when you ride a bike, when you're new, you don't understand the faster you go, the easier it is to balance, right? But when you're brand new, you don't even know that, right? So you go slow and it's wobbly and you fall off, right? So that's when you're in unconscious incompetent section. That's where I am right now. Like I don't even know. I know I don't even know how incompetent I am because I haven't gone through the process, right? And so I'm trying to just learn what I don't know. And so then the second level is conscious incompetent, right? Then it's like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing, but at least I know that I don't know what I'm doing. Right? Like at least I don't have the this is what happens with salespeople. It's happened with the bike, with the kid with the bike. It's like, I'm just going to get on this thing and start flying. Like I was like, oh, this is pretty easy. We sell light bulbs and parts of computers to schools. Ooh, big deal. Like, okay, so I could do that. Right. So now now I'm in the conscious incompetent part where I'm like, I know I don't know what I'm doing. All right. And so, and this part of the learning cycle is also called the discouragement, right? Like there's the high of unconscious incompetent, like you don't know how hard it is, so you're just like, oh, this is going to be easy, and then it's not, right? So because you're incompetent, and then you go quickly into stage 2, which is conscious incompetent. You're like, oh, this is called discouragement phase. It's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if this is what I want to do. Is bike riding really that important? Is it, I hurt, I'm in pain. I don't think no one can do this. It's challenging and I don't want to learn how to do it. And you see the hill in front of you and it's called the valley of discouragement, right? That's the second level of learning, right? And then the third level of learning, of the learning curve is, conscious competent, right? So when you get to conscious competent, it's like, okay, I know what I have to do, but I have to think about it, right? Like, so, okay, so what I got to do is I got to make sure I pedal. I got to make sure, okay, if I start leaning to the left, I got to lean. If the bike starts going to the left, I got to lean to the right. And, and I got to make sure I keep the speed up and blah, 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 right? And, I'm going to go through that point where it's like, all right, the person comes in, they want a quote. I got to go here. I got to find the part. I got to do this. I got to make the quote. I got to send it off. Right. And so there's am I making sure do I remember shipping? Do I remember the all the different parts of what it is? Right. So that's what you go through in stage 3. And that's the work phase, right? The work phase is, repetition, it's just doing it over and over until you get to stage 4 of the learning curve, which is unconscious competent, where you just do things, you don't even think about it, right? Like I'm talking to my boss, he's telling me things, he's like, oh, just stick in there EPLPT 99, and I'm like, I don't even know what letters you just said. He's like, oh, it's ELPTP 99 is just a part, right? So it's like he's just to the part where it's unconscious and common because he's been doing it for 10 years. And that's like, now if I get on a bike and I can ride it, and I haven't ridden a bike and I don't know how long, but I'm more than positive I can get on the bike and ride down the road, pretty easily, right? So that's when you've learned the whole thing. You guys are writing a bunch of comments. I haven't read them at all. I'm sorry. KPI of learning. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's what I got to do. I got to go through learning curve myself, and then I got to try to shorten it for people, which is what I'm going to be working on after I learn it myself. And so So the point being is, so I'm in the level 2 of discouragement right now, going, oh, do I really want to do this? Blah, blah, blah. Is this something I do? Should I look for something else? But the thing is, if you never go through stage 2, everything new you're going to try, you're going to keep falling into discouragement, and you're just going to keep changing what you're doing and trying different things and never actually learning anything, because you give up too quick. So, but it is, it is what it is. It's a part of, I recognize what's going on. I recognize my mental state. And I got to remember, like, if these two gentlemen who are there already can do this, then I can learn how to do it. And it's not that hard, and it's selling pieces, and it's just a matter of repetition and learning and doing it. And, they're like, oh, it's going to take you like 2 months. And I'm like, I've been here for 3 days. I should know it. I should be able to do this already. And, how much money am I even making the business, and blah, blah, blah. And so, so what I'm going to refocus on this weekend is these goals. I'm going to read them right now, my disciplines. And I'm not going to be excited about doing this, but it is going to remind me of why I'm doing it, and give me the motivation to continue going on. So let's bring up the goals. If you're on TikTok, you've been seeing the goals the entire time. Oh, we got some viewers on TikTok. How you guys doing? I haven't looked over there. We are on, by the way, Philosophy Man 76 on TikTok, Philosophy Man 76 on YouTube Live, and I am on the Stereo app. And so we do this every morning. I say 6 to 7:30. I'm going to start doing it longer term. I'll tell you what I do really enjoy doing, and it's going to be the second part of this. And yesterday, after I did the basic part of Morning Matters and I did the goals section, what I really enjoy doing is talking Tesla, which is what I'm going to talk about next. And there's a lot of good stuff going on with Tesla. And that's what we're going to do in the second part of today. I'm going to move this camera a little bit more. This shirt is stretched out. This is one of my favorite shirts. Everything's fine, right? And it's a happy face that's like melting. But I do enjoy talking about Tesla. Such great stuff going on with Tesla. And I got to remember, like, one of my goals on here is to, buy some Tesla stock and get as much Tesla stock as I can before it really takes off. It's already taken off, but it hasn't taken off to the level of where it's going to go. So I will be talking some Tesla right after I get done with this, and which I love doing, which I enjoy doing a lot. And I know there's a whole community where they like that. So I'm thinking of maybe just doing a Saturday podcast that's just Tesla. I still have to figure this all out, which is why I'm going to sit around this weekend, and this is what I'm going to work on. But for now, point of goals, do it every day. Our goal setting is very simple. 3 things to be a goal. It has to be measurable. It has to have a timetable, and it has to be written down. That's the meaning of a goal, or the terminology we use as goals. So here are mine right here. The purpose is not for you guys. I mean, it's nice if you want to look at my goals and see my goals and hear me talk about them, but my world is not your world, and hopefully you sit down and take the time to make your own goals, and take the time every morning while we do this. And while I talk about my goals really quickly, you go over yours and set your intentions for the day. That is the purpose of this. And to remind you as to why you do what you're doing, and to go through the day proactive and not reactive. So is someone on stereo here. So here are my goals. And by the way, this is to accomplish before I turn 50. I'm 49 right now, as Renee pointed out to me again. And my goal is to make one of my dreams, my wishes, is to make my 50s better than my 40s. All right, that's not an actual goal. That's a wish and a desire, because it's not measurable what is better, but it is a desire. So, but the goals, I have two main focuses. I've broken it down, and then all the other mini goals on the way there. So the first one, financial goal, is to earn $112,347 after taxes, which comes out to about $160,000 with before taxes. And that number is and I have a vehicle now to do it. So now I'm going. So this is what I have to remember. Like, oh, well, what happens if I'm able to achieve my goal? Well, I'll decrease my bad debt by $25,000, which I need to do, which I'd like to do. I don't need to do it, but I'm going to do it. And it's a goal. Buy $10,000 of Tesla stock over the next year and have $7,000 in a savings account. Now that's just some of the, and then obviously pay all my other bills and all that other stuff. So I've done all this math. I figured it all out. That's how much I need. And I want to raise my credit score by 150 points. So all those things are what are goals that I want to have by the time I turn 50. But all these other goals can be taken care of just by doing the first one. That's why it's bold and starred, and that's what I focus on. And that number, I know, this is what's getting me through my day. This is what I need to remind myself of while I'm trying to look at part numbers of projector light bulbs and try to figure all out what I need to do to sell these things. And so the goal is not to sell a bunch of projector light bulbs. The goal is, these are my goals. These are the things I want to see in my life. And so this is the purpose of goals, to give meaning to the meaningless, to give meaning to the activity, give meaning to the daily doldrums of getting the activity done, of why am I doing it? Because I could easily be like, why the hell am I sitting here doing this and go away. And then it's like, oh, now I remember my goals. That's why. So that's the purpose of goals. So health, it boils down to, the main health goal is to get my weight down to 250 pounds. As of this morning, I was 299 pounds. And by doing that, I can lower my A1C, which is, I'm diabetic. So I need to get down to 6.5. I didn't take my blood sugar today. I don't know what it is. Get my blood sugar under 150, complete a half marathon, bench press 315 pounds. One more time. I just want to do 3 plates one more time in my life before I leave planet Earth, and squat 225 for 10. So the discipline, so it's like, okay, here's the goals, here's what I want to do. And then it's like, okay, let me come up with the disciplines. Now, these disciplines, David Goggins would punch me in the face based upon how good I've been doing at my disciplines. But like I said, I'm going to refocus myself this week, or this weekend. That's what the purpose of this weekend coming up. But follow the weekly budget video. So I found out yesterday that I get my first paycheck on the 24th. So I got a long way to go before I got a lot of creditors, because I quit my job and didn't have a job for like a week, and then I found a sales manager position. It's a good thing about being in sales, that you can pretty much always find a job in sales somewhere if you willing to do it. And so now I just got to get to the pay week. So 24th will be when I do that video. I've already made the budget. Maybe I'll just, that's probably what I'll work on this weekend, is I'll break down my budget numbers for like the whole year. I got to look at that, and it'll give me some more motivation to do my work. But anyway, weekly budget, daily and weekly podcasts. That's the one thing I've actually held true to every single day. We do Morning Matters every morning, and I've done my weekly Cosmic Matters. I have episode 8 I just uploaded to Spotify, and episode 9 this Sunday. I'm going to be talking about the big and the small of the universe. I got a lot of cool videos and stuff about just mind-boggling about how big the universe is and how small the universe is, and where we fall in that. And so it's going to be a lot of cool facts. I'm going to talk about the scale of stars and black holes, and then also the scale of atoms and Planck time, which is very tiny, and try to help people really understand like what's going on in this cosmos. And I love talking about that stuff because it does put in perspective, my own life, and all the mini world, the micro world that I live in, and thinking about the macro of the universe. It does help get through the day, right? So, and then health, daily exercise, and follow diet. I guess my daily exercise is squats and push-ups right now, because I haven't been to the gym. I didn't go yesterday. I didn't go the day before. I haven't been jogging. So the gym 4 times a week and the jog 3 days a week is totally fallen off this week. push-ups and squats I have done. So that's the one thing I've grasped onto and said I'm gonna. And the fast, forget the freaking fasting. I keep trying, and I keep failing. So I even brought. So what I did is I brought my salad to work, and I said, okay, 2 o'clock, I'm gonna eat my salad, and then I'm gonna just not eat again until I'm back here at work tomorrow at 2 o'clock, and I can eat my salad again. And I've gotten the first part down. I eat the salad at 2, and then when I get home at like 5:30, 6 o'clock, I'm just like, brain says I'm just weak, basically, and I eat. And so we're gonna make this happen. I'm glad you guys are in here laughing at me. Oh no, I'm not going to diversify. Um, all my eggs are going into the Tesla basket. So diversification is good strategy if you are maintaining wealth. If you want to maintain wealth, then diversify. Or if you're not going to pay attention, like I have been grossly immersed in Tesla, the company, for 2013, well more than 12 years, right? Like daily, I spend time watching or learning about Tesla every single day, just because I enjoy it so much, like, and not because I have to, and not because I'm invested in it, but because I just so enjoy it. And so as far as, that's why I'm going to talk about it right now, actually, a little bit more. We'll go to my Tesla stuff. So as far as so the reason why I'm invested so much in Tesla, or going to invest in Tesla, yes, well, time isn't really money, but I get what you're trying to say. The reason I'm trying to invest, or I'm literally, that's my one investment. I did diversify a little bit, but the reason why I spend so much time, hey, what's up there, Lady Boss? Lady Boss, I'm going to send you a message. I want to see if you want to be on Sunday's podcast of Cosmic Matters, because I'm going to be doing. Oh, what happened? What is that? Oh, I got disconnected from. That was weird. Never had that happen before. I'm doing the big and the small things, Lady Boss. So I'll hit you up and see if you want to be on that podcast. It's going to be fun. It doesn't even matter. It really doesn't. It's you're, well, the time, it's like saying inches is money. They're both measuring sticks of wealth. Time is just a measurement of the changes that happen throughout our day, and money is a measurement of our time, our intellect. How does Alan Watts put it? Our time, intellect, and resources. Money is just a measurement of those things, right? So yeah, and so again, people who, time is something that is a commodity that is, you don't get any more of it, right? It's socialism. Right, because everybody gets the same amount of time, everybody gets the same 24 hours no matter what. Everyone's equal as far as time goes. We all get the same amount of it. You can't get any more, you can't get any less. Money, you can make, like, if you make hundreds of thousands of dollars per second, you can, great. I always said, like, during when we had the whatchamacallit going on, the sickness, I'll just call it that. I know TikTok is very particular about you using the C word, not the derogatory one, but the one that happened in 2020 across the world, right? During that time, they were giving people checks, right? They get the PPP checks and the loans, and they were just giving money away, and they were using money for all this kind of stuff. And I asked, the fact is that I was like, they didn't tax us for that. Like, the reason why we had runaway inflation after 2020 is because they just printed a bunch of money. It wasn't like they didn't have like all this money sitting aside and said, oh, this worldwide event happened and let's just give everybody money. And no, that's not what happened. They didn't raise everyone's taxes from an exorbitant amount to make that up. They just printed more money. That's the point of it. And then we had runaway inflation, because if you print a bunch of money, then the money isn't worth as much. Oh, wow, it's incredible. And we don't understand how that works. So we had the fancy word for that is quantitative easing, right? So when you have, but time isn't like that. Time, you don't get any more time. We can't say, let me just print up a couple more hours. It doesn't work that way. So anyway, Renee, you got me off track, and I don't have much time. See, there we go. All right, so I'm going to get to. I've been trying to talk about this Tesla robotaxi idea that I've had for the last 2 days, and I haven't been able to talk about it yet. I'm going to change my topic on stereo right now. I'm going to talk about this because every day I start talking about it and I never get to it. I'm going to get to it today. I don't care what the comments are. I don't care. I'm going to not focus on tangents, and I'm going to talk about this subject. So let me add what I'm talking about. So if you didn't know what happened, Tesla had an announcement a couple days ago, and the stock went up to like 470. And then after the announcement, it dropped down to 430, which is where it is now, because everyone got excited. Tesla put out this little video of something spinning. It looked like a Tesla fan, and everyone was trying to figure out what it was. It was a hubcap, but everyone was like, it kind of wobbles in the beginning. Maybe it's like an air conditioning unit. Maybe it's a VTOL jet. If you don't know what VTOL is, it's a vertical takeoff and landing. And everyone was all getting all hyped. And Tesla does this all the time. They hype their events, and then the events fall flat on their face because they don't have a marketing department. They don't have a PR department. They don't have a marketing department. I guess they don't run ads, and Elon's always late to things, and it's just the nature of the company. So everyone got all hyped up as always, and once again, it was the announcement was, we are making cheaper cars, and that doesn't excite people. No one was excited about a $35,000. Well, no. When I say nobody, the people who aren't invested in Tesla and the people who are not me, because I was like, this is cool. So all they did is they took the Model 3 and they made it much cheaper. Trying to find my download here. They made it cheaper, but the Model 3 is like $34,000, and then they made the what was it called? The Model Y. It was like $39,900, right? So the Model Y is there. It's the picture I'm looking for. So here we go. So they brought up these, and I don't know if you'll be able to see this. Nope. Oh, there we go. Yeah, maybe you can see it. And let me bring it up on TikTok. All right, we're going to close that, open this. There we go. Oh, no, I got rid of it. Damn it. No, I didn't. There it is. Beautiful. So here is the, this is the Model Y. I know it's stereo, you can't see, but so I pulled up, okay, Model Y standard. I don't need this full screen. Well, actually, I kind of do. Standard. So they call it a standard. So the standard for the Model Y means they got rid of the glass roof. They got rid of the rear facing, for the kids, the monitor in the back. They got rid of the ventilated seats. They got rid of the, ridiculous studio quality speakers. Instead of having 9 speakers in there, I think there's like 5 now or something like that. They got rid of, what else did they get rid of? The tires are smaller. There was something else. Can't remember off the top of my head. But anyway, it's basically all the bells and whistles. They took the bells and whistles out and they made a standard car, right? And so you see all this stuff included, blah, blah, blah. 5-seat interior, cruise control. But then you see what I added, the full self-driving supervised, right? So full self-driving is $8,000. So I added that to the vehicle, and then purchase price, and I live in New York, so there was a $2,000 incentive. So it all comes down, blah blah blah, full. So at the end of the day, all I'm trying to show here, with $3,000 down and a 7.39 APR, that the cost would be $767 a month, right? To have the Model Y with, again, there's $8,000 in there for full self-driving. Now, I'm going to buy a Tesla, but I'm looking at this one. I'm looking at this one and I'm saying, okay, well, do I really want a standard, I want mine in blue, and I want this, and I want, some bells and whistles. And I'm like, would I really want to buy the standard one? I'll just buy more. But then I started thinking, all right, what if I got the full self-driving? Now, here's what's going on with full self-driving and robo-taxis. Okay. And people just don't seem to understand this concept. And I'm going to play this on, I don't know if I'm going to do this tomorrow, or maybe I'll just do 2 podcasts on Sunday. I don't know yet, but there we go. Put it like that. I am going to say that the robo-taxi network, like you being able to put your car on the robo-taxi network in my state, will happen within maybe, I'm going to say 2 years. I'm going to say 3 years conservative, but within 2 years is what I'm planning for, right? Because this is a 5-year loan. And the reason why I'm saying I'll get this now and just let it sit around and have the full self-driving feature and spend the $8,000 on that is because the robo-taxi network, right? The whole idea is, like, right now Uber charges and Lyft charges anywhere between $1 in places like where I live, they charge like up to $3 a mile. But for most places, they charge on average $1.50 to $2 a mile to the customer to do this. Now, the most expensive part of a Lyft or an Uber is obviously the driver. The driver is the person who they have to pay the most to, because the person's using their car, so they have to pay them. They have to make it worth the person's time and money. They have to make money, and also they're doing they're depreciating their car by driving it all over the place. So they got to pay the driver. And so the driver's the most expensive part. So what Tesla's doing with robo-taxis is they're eliminating the driver. So now when you don't need a driver, what they can do is they can say, well, we can go down to $1 a mile instead of $1.50. We can go down to 75 cents a mile. We can go down to 50 cents a mile, right? So, and still make our profit, right? Because we don't have to pay a driver. And so when you're thinking about people, you're talking about, I see in the comments here, Renee, talking about time. How much more time could you have if you didn't have to actually drive? Like, especially where I live in New York, people that commute to the city, I every once in a while I have to get stuck in New York traffic, and I'm like, holy mackerel, now I know why I hate this. But if you could have somebody else drive, you can have the car drive itself. I get more time to do my work. I can watch Netflix. You can do whatever you want in the car. Same thing is, taking a ride to the airport. I talked about this yesterday, taking a ride to the airport. If I want to take a Lyft to the airport from where I live, it's probably like 85 to, actually, I'm being conservative. Actually, you know what? What am I doing? Let's not even try to figure it out. Let me actually look right now. Where am I going? I'm going to JFK Airport. Terminal 4. How much would they charge me right now? $100, $101 for standard, right? So it cost me $100 to go to the airport right now if I wanted to take a Lyft. All right. So now let's say they take that. Let's say $100 is a good amount because I have the 100 miles there. I got to pay 100 miles. So I have to pay. So if I want to go to a trip and I want to take a Lyft, it's $200. If I'm flying to Florida, it might be $150 for my tickets. It's cost me more just to get there and come back from my house than it does to get to Florida and back, right? So, so the point being is, but if that ride was only $30, If it was only 50, half is $50, right? So that's going from $2 to $1. If they went from $1 to 50 cents, uh half again, $25. It was $25 to go to the airport and back. Yeah, heck yeah, I would do that, right? And take a robo taxi. And I don't got to deal with the person driving crazy. I don't got to deal with anything. I can set the temperature. It's kind of cool with the robo taxis. You can literally set the music from your app. Like you can set the temperature before it gets there, like if you want it cooler, if you want it hotter. Like, when I drove Lyft, the one thing I used to hate, oh my goodness, I wanted to make a video like the 5 things Lyft drivers hate from passengers. Number one is when you sit behind the person who's driving, like, and there's only one person and you sit behind me. I'm like, why are you sitting behind? You're going to choke me out. Sit over there. There's no reason to sit behind me. I'm tall. I put my seat all the way back and try to make it as uncomfortable as possible so people don't sit behind me if they don't have to. But one of the things also is just opening my window. Like they sit down, open the window right off the bat. I put like the child lock on for the windows because I hate when people open the window. But the point being is, if you're a customer, you don't have to worry about me, the driver. You just get in there. You don't have to have awkward conversations. You don't have to worry about the smell of the car, although it might stink if somebody else was in there previously. But you just don't have. You can listen to your own music. You can listen to no music. You can watch a movie. You can do whatever you want, right? You have privacy of being in the car and not having to deal with another person who's a stranger in the car, right? So, and on top of that, it's 2/3 cheaper, right? So this is the cool thing about this. Now, Tesla, what they're going to be doing is they're going to be making Cybercabs, which are going to be like $20,000 cars that are only going to have 2 seats, right? And so they're going to have a 2-seater. That's what they're planning on doing. That they're making to be the robo taxis. Now, 90, I would say, when I drove Lyft, for a good part of like 3 years. I would say 90% of the people that I drove, it was only 1 or 2 passengers, right? It was very rarely was it 3 or more, right? And so, yeah, definitely 90% and probably 75% 1 passenger, right? So the concept of having like a Model Y or a Model 3, I think I'm going to go for the Y, but actually the 3 is a little bit better value. But anyway, the point being is $763, $776 a month. Let me see if I can find my notes. I said, okay, well, what if I buy this now? And then I take my car and I put it on the Robotaxi network? Because there are times that what'll happen is where there's going to be times where they don't have enough cars. Or they're going to allow people, Elon has said this, we're going to allow people to take their full self-driving car and put it and add it to the Robotaxi network and make money, right? So what if I could go to work, take my car to work, and then while I work, Renee talked about saving time is money, send my car out to go make me more money. So let me pull this up. I got this right here. Let me get rid of this. So for you guys on TikTok, you can see what I'm talking about. So remember this number, $767 a month, right? Let me hide that. Go away, please. All right, here we go. Let me open this. Let me make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see it here on TikTok. And then let me find it. Let me find what I'm doing. I did math. We're going to pull up the math. There we go. Again, if you want to see these numbers and stuff, you can join me on Philosophy Man 76 on YouTube or Philosophy Man 76 on TikTok. Please go and join those things anyway and subscribe. It would help me greatly to get more subscribers. So here is what I calculated for Robotaxi revenue of putting your car on the Robotaxi. All right. So let's say the car goes on average 25 miles per hour. Right now, obviously, it go on highways. It could be going 50, 60 miles per hour times, but there's going to be downtime where there's no one in the car there, or no one's being picked up. There's going to be some times when it's going to be driving through residential areas and whatnot at 30 miles an hour or so. I said 25 miles an hour. Let's just take that number. And let's say we put it on the robo taxi for 6 hours a day, right? I go to work. It's only for 6 hours. Let's say it's got to charge. Now, again, you could take this robo taxi and you can have it drive 20 hours a day, right? And just charge it. All you gotta do is charge it and then send it out again and just let it be a vehicle that works. But I'm just going to say 6 hours a day while I'm at work, even though I work 8 hours a day. All right. So if at 6 hours times 25 miles an hour, we are at 150 miles a day, right? Of the car driving, right? Just simple math. All right. So if you do that 5 days a week, like let's say I want my car on the weekend, I want my own car on the weekend, so I'm not going to do it during the weekend. I'm just going to do it during the week while I'm at work, right? Then that's 30 hours, 5 days times 6 hours a day. It's 30 hours a week, all right? And then we take the 150 miles times 750 miles. So it's 750 miles a week. Now, let's say Tesla is charging 50 cents per mile. I don't know what they're going to charge, but let's say they charge 50 cents per mile, and let's say they go half and half. I don't have, these are just my assumptions. You can do the math on your own and change the assumptions to figure this out. But if they're charging 50 cents a mile to use my car, right? All they have is the network, right? It's just the app. That's what they're doing. It's just software for them. So the 25 cents that they're making is pure profit, right? They don't even have to maintain the car, right? They don't have to do anything. So I'm maintaining the car. I bought the car, right? And so they're just making money. So it's they might even do more than half, right? Because why not, right? If they want people to jump on the app to entice them to use their car to do this. So 25 cents a mile, I'm going to say they pay me. Right. So you take the 25 cents per mile times 750 miles a week, and that's $188 your car is making you a week. Let me just do that math again because it sounds not right, but I want to make sure. 750 times 0.25. Yep, 187. All right. So 187.50. So 188. 188 a week. Now, I get 2 weeks vacation, right? So it's 50 weeks in a year. That's $9,400 a year. All right. Now here's the rub, right? Remember I told you, what the Tesla cost was, right? It was $767. So $9,400 a year is $783 a month, right? So basically my Tesla will be paid for by itself. My car payment will get paid for by my car actually driving at times I don't need it, when I'm at work. So I'm getting a free car at that sense, right? Now, if I want to pay for my insurance too, I can have it work in a couple extra hours, right? And I can make it where I can have it work at night while I'm sleeping, and it can go out on the Robotaxi network. So buying this car and getting the full self-driving and being able to put it on the Robotaxi network will pay for. And by the way, this isn't like pie in the sky. I just thought this up myself. This is what Tesla and Elon have said that they want to do. They want to expand the network, and they want to let people even buy the actual cyber cabs, which are going to be just 2-seat cars that don't have a steering wheel and don't have a it's not going to have a steering wheel, and it's not going to have a the pedals, right? It's only just going to be 2 seats and a screen, so you can watch Netflix while the car drives. So I'm going to show this video. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to do it on my next one. So the point being is why I'm focused on buying the standard car. Why would I buy that? Because I'm like, why would I buy a standard car if I'm not going to get all the things I want? Well, if the car is paying for itself, then I can make a profit on it by potentially just having it drive more, and it just be my car for work, my car for profit, my car to make money. Then I could buy a different car. I could buy the car that I want with the white interior and the blue outside and the performance, blah, blah, blah. I could do that with my money. Or I could have my other car making money and not only paying for itself, but paying for insurance, or maybe even paying for my car, depending on but the car I want to drive. Maybe I don't want to put that one on the Robotaxi network. So the point being is, I'm going to buy this thing, and I'm hoping in 2 years. That's my hope. I'm almost positive within 3 years. And I'm watching. What I'm doing is I'm watching how fast the Robotaxi network is expanding, because it started off like literally, I want to say 3 months ago. They had the first one in Austin, Texas, and this was on version 13 of FSD, which is full self driving. Now they just released version 14, which is the video I was going to show, but I'll do it maybe tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow, because oh no, what happened? Maybe not tomorrow, because I don't do morning matters on the weekend. But whenever I do when I do a setup Tesla talk, I was watching videos of the new version 14 that just came out that some people have gotten, and they were showing it driving through a drive-through like McDonald's, right? And the car would drive up. Excuse me. It drove up to where you had to make your order. The guy ordered. It stopped at the exact spot at the speaker. The guy made the order. He ordered just a small fry, and then it drove up to the window. He paid for he gave him the card. They gave him the card back. They gave him the food. They gave him, and then the car left. And it doesn't sound like a big deal, but he didn't touch the wheel and didn't touch the pedals the entire time. What happened with, like, I don't think people really understand how incredible that is. And the guy in the video is like, how does it know? How does it know why didn't it drive off before I got my card back? Why didn't it drive off before I got how did it know when I got my food? Like, how did it know, like, okay, the conversation is done at the speaker and to drive up to the next window? So here's the thing. This is what's going on in the AI world, right? Because we all use Chat GPT. We all seem to, get that what's going on with Chat GPT, and it can do a whole bunch of really cool things. And it's just been feeding, it's just language, right? It's been taking language on the internet and listening to how humans talk, and then it can create other things, and it's doing the same thing with pictures and all that stuff. But Tesla's the only one that's doing this AI stuff in the real world, because what Tesla's been doing for half a decade now, all their cars have been feeding information to their AI, to their Dojo system, to their AI. And even if you don't have full self-driving, like what Tesla has done is Tesla made all the cars have all the capability, hardware capability, even if you didn't buy the software. So like somebody, if they went and bought a Tesla 2 years ago and they're like, I'm not going to spend, $8,000 on full self-driving. It's not even complete yet. But they put the hardware in there so that way you could buy it. So people could upgrade at any point. They say, oh, now I want full self-driving. I feel like spending $8,000. They put their credit card in, boom, software update, their car gets better. Oh, by the way, that was $8,000 of revenue that Tesla got from nothing, right? But their take rates are only like 15%. But as this has gotten better and better and better, right? As people now are figuring this out, like version 14 is so amazing. I watched another video of a guy who's it was on, Elon posted the video, he reposted the video of this guy who went to Costco, and he just put the thing in the Costco. He got out of the car. The car went and found its own parking spot, drove around, found a parking spot. Then when he came out of Costco with all his bags and stuff, hit the summon button, and the car pulls out of the spot and it goes and gets him. Right at the front. He doesn't have to walk around trying to find his car. So you don't have to park anymore. Like, there's going to be more people doing this. And what I was getting at with the AI is this is thinking. So how did the car know? Okay, now it's time to, not drive off before the guy finished giving his order. How did the car know not to drive off before he got his food or the credit card back? Like, how does the car know these things? Right? Well, no, it's not. There's two different people did it. Sawyer Merritt did it, and Dylan Loomis did it. Right? It's not faked. So these are they're not faked videos. They're pretty trustworthy sources. And by the way, why fake it? Because then just people are going to. What do you think? Nobody else is going to try it. Like, people are just going to keep trying it. So these just came out like I want to say yesterday or the day before. So I don't know. Could they be fake? Maybe, but I doubt it. Just because these guys have been because it's gonna you would find out really quickly if it was a fake video. There's other people with the surfboard that are going to try the same thing, and if it doesn't work, then they'll know it's fake. So there's no point in trying to fake it. But how does the car know? The reason the car knows is because the way that the Teslas are trained. Who faked what, Renee? What are you talking about was faked? That's what I'm curious. There's lots of things that are fake. Are you saying those particular Dylan Loomis and whatchamacallit? Yeah, I'd have to see the video. You send it to me. I'll watch it. But here's the thing: I've sat in a Tesla. Like, there's hundreds of thousands of videos of Teslas driving themselves. You can go get in. I've been in Tesla. I've been in a full self-driving Tesla car and watched it do it itself. So could there be faked videos of certain things? Sure, but the software works. Like, there's people driving around right now in Austin, Texas, in robotaxis that are actually doing these things. So the point being is, as the how are these cars trained right now? See, there isn't a person who typed in code when it starts. Yeah, right. It hasn't, by the way. There was just a report. So the reason why there was a report just yesterday of, like, it was NHTSA, which is the National Highway Safety of Traffic Authority, did a new investigation. It was like the big news yesterday. There's an investigation. Tesla crashes on autopilot. There was 57 crashes over, or not even crashes. It wasn't even crashes. It was like driving infractions or violations, like going through a red light, or leaving early on a red light, or not stopping at a stop sign. And it was like something like there were 60 incidents over 2.5, and they were doing investigations on 2.8 million cars or whatever. And the point being is, I'm like, first off, if there were 60 instances over 2.9 million cars using this, over 3 billion miles driven, what is the accident rate of humans? Like, this is much better than humans. Humans do a lot worse than 60 over 2 million cars. So that's the first thing. And secondly, they're looking at incidents from version 12.6 or something like that. This is 14.1, right? This is the newest version. Like, Tesla's constantly these cars are getting better and better. It's like a high school, somebody who's 17 years old. There's a big difference between a 16-year-old driving a car and a 17-year-old driving a car, and an 18-year-old driving a car, and a 20-year-old driving a car. As time goes on, just in a year, they get better. They get considerably better because they're driving more, and they get more experience, and they get better at doing it. So looking at old cars, the new technology doesn't do the things that the old car did. The old cars used to, yeah, my rude awakening. I've been waiting for this rude awakening about Tesla for 13 years, and yeah, the rude awakening has never happened. As a matter of fact, the rude awakening has been like 2,400% profit on my Tesla stock. So yeah, I pay attention to these things. So I see the I'm pretty knowledgeable about it, right? Plus, I work for the company and I pay attention to it. So so the way that the cars are trained, right, is just like a human is. There isn't someone putting in code like there used to be. Tesla used to spend $100,000 on $100,000 per engineer, and had over 100 engineers doing labeling. This is a duck. This is a truck. This is a this. This is a cat. Right? They had hundreds and thousands of lines of code. But now that's how it gets trained. It's not how it gets trained anymore. There was nobody that said, when you go through the drive-through, stop at a speaker, wait till the speaker is finished talking, wait till they get the food, hand them the card, take the card back, then drive away. Like, there's nobody typing in the stuff. What's happened is the AI is learning from people driving cars. So Teslas can go into what's called shadow mode. So you drive the car. So even people who didn't have whatchamacallit, FSD, who didn't pay for FSD, the full self-driving computer would drive in shadow mode. So it would pretend to drive while the human's driving. And then if the human did something, and then if the car tried to do something that was different than what the actual human did while driving, then that would send a notification to Tesla that there was a difference. And then what the Tesla computer would do is it would go through the video and say, okay, why did the human do this and why did we do that, and how was that not right, or how was it wrong? So this is how the car has been learning. It's literally learning. It's not somebody typing in code. It's not somebody doing labeling. It's not somebody telling the car what to do. The car just saw enough people. There's just enough video and information that went into the AI that said, here's how you interact at a drive-through. And there's speakers, that probably heard the end of the conversation and then decided to move forward. Or there's a window, the video of the person shutting the window, after you get the food, they shuts the window, and the car said, okay, when the window shuts, that means the transaction's over, and they drove away. So these things are the car is, and that's not, again, that's how we learn, through repetition, through things going over and over and over again. It's the same type of thing. No, it really isn't. So this is the idea of what has been done. The way that Tesla's cars are being trained is through this AI, not by somebody actually watching video and putting in the code. There's a difference between those two things. So, I'm not going to argue with you in the comments. Right? I know this because I actually, I know. So I pay attention to these things. This was done. Elon drove his car when he did his drive to Mark Zuckerberg's house. He's like, this whole thing there when they changed it over, they said there's not lines of code anymore. They deleted millions of lines of code out of there, and they allow the actual the learning of the car is done differently now. So you can tell me I have no idea. It's up to you. I'm telling you what I know, and what I've seen and what I've studied. So cool. So the point being is this is why robo-taxis are happening. And the thing is, as time goes on, the cars get better and better and better. They continue to get better and better and better. And I drove, back when I was working at Tesla, the only thing the autopilot would do is just keep lanes. It would keep lanes. And if you put the blinker on, it would change lanes, and it would stop. It would not smash into the car in front of it. That's all it did on main highways. Now we're to the point where it can literally go through a drive-through on its own and know when your transactions are done, and it could drive around a parking lot by itself. And the new 14 version is even better. And it's not 100% complete yet. There's still bugs. But the thing is that I'm not investing, that's like I just said, in a couple of years. Now, the robo-taxi network is activated right now. There's people taking robo-taxi rides in Teslas right now in Austin, Texas. And they've expanded the geofenced area 3 times now. And they also have this going on in California. They have it in San Francisco and San Diego and anywhere in between. And they just got licenses to do it in Nevada, and they also got a license to get it in Arizona. So this is over the last just 3 months. So this is why I'm saying 2 years. That's why I'm looking at a 2-year time frame. And the process is continually to get better and better and better. And not only is it getting better and better as far as the amount of data that's coming in and the amount of fixes that happen, it's also the fact that that the regulators, the more time that they have to put these things in and get these fixes going, it's like, again, if I was going to drive with my 17-year-old nephew, he doesn't know how to drive. Like, he still makes mistakes. He understands the basics of how to drive, but he messes up certain things, But I can't say, okay, in 2 years he's going to be doing the same things. Like the people who look at like now, or look at like what Nisht is doing and looking at, oh, here's some accidents or some things that happened that were wrong with the car, and they're looking at like from 2 years ago, over the last 2 years. I'm like, yeah, the car's better now. It's already fixed. Most of the things that happen with Tesla when you see like a Tesla recall, there's a recall on this or that. 90% of the recalls that Tesla have are just over the air updates. They just fix them before they even, like, because people think of a recall, they think of it as what their car is a recall. Like, oh, I gotta now take my car to the dealership, and they're gonna have to take a part out, and they're gonna have to fix it, and that's a recall. I might not have my car for a day or two, or I'm gonna be inconvenienced, so it kind of sucks. That word recall, that's not how most of Tesla recalls go. Tesla recalls are like, oh, there was this issue, and Tesla sent an over-the-air update, and the car got fixed. And by the way, Tesla's the only company that does these over-the-air updates, because they're a software company. Most the other car companies can't do this. When they have a recall, it's really, so when you see like 2 million recalls for Tesla, realize that recall is already been fixed. Like it's not like, that's why they should have a different word. When your iPhone needs an update, they don't call it a recall, they just call it an update. That's what Tesla does all the time. But the media likes to spread out, oh, lots of recalls, this was a recall, this was like 6 million recalls. So there we go. So the point being is, I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the robotaxi future that's coming. It is one of the big investments that I have, and it's one of the reasons it's the second biggest reason I invest in Tesla. The first is the robots, which are also coming, which I'll do a whole show on that coming up as well. But it is coming up on 8 o'clock. And it's getting close to time for me to head off to the job, so I can buy some Tesla stock with my first paycheck, and pay off some bills. So that's it for Morning Matters today. I'm going to do I'll go and do a little bit more in depth about this Tesla stuff. Renee, you're more welcome to send me that video. I'll be happy to watch it. I watched so many videos of people saying, oh, this is fake or this is not, and then I find out that the actual video is fake, because there's a lot of people that hate Tesla. You got to remember also with Tesla, Tesla spends zero money on advertising at all. I think they did some advertising like Japan, but you've never seen a Tesla commercial. You've never seen a Tesla ad in a magazine. So if you understand how mainstream media makes money, it's advertising. So if they're not spending any money on advertising, Consumer Reports, who constantly talks bad about Tesla, but Consumer Reports has the Ford Foundation as one of that donates $1 million to them every year. So yeah, you got to know where your bread is buttered. All right. So so the point being is, you have to take everything with a grain of salt and look at the good and the bad. But what I have seen over the time is that things are going out. There's a saying that if you want to predict the future, you study the present. And from what I've seen in the present, the future looks very good for where Tesla's going, where Tesla stock's going to go, and the amount of revenue they're going to be bringing in for a company that already has $36 billion on their books in cash and cash equivalents. So, yeah, me too. Appreciate that. But anyway, that's all my Tesla talk. It's time to get dressed, go to work. Enjoy your weekend, everyone. Again, check out Cosmic Matters on Sunday, 10 to 12. If you can't do that, check it out on Spotify, upload it there, or you can see it obviously on my YouTube channel. They all stay up there as well. And next week, these goals will be disciplined. Things will be a lot better moving forward, as I'm a little bit more prepared and get refocused on the things that I want in my life. And so thank you everyone for being here. I will see you on Monday or Sunday, depending on when you jump on. All right. Talk to you all later. Have a great morning and the rest of the day to everyone out there. And